on the chat box.
Recording in progress.
You can continue typing the place where you are joining us from. You can also tell us your name, whether you are a student, a developer, entrepreneur, or simply curious about artificial intelligence. And we are glad that you created your time to join us for this session today. And just before we start, I would like to invite one of the members from the MobiGirlz, that's Joylene, to take us through the opening prayers. So, Joylene.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joylene. A committee member, MobiGirlz committee, that is. So I'll take you through the opening prayers. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together for this webinar. We are grateful for the opportunity to learn, to share, and share ideas together. We ask for your guidance and wisdom throughout this session. Bless our speakers with clarity, our participants with understanding, and may everything we do be meaningful and beneficial to all. Keep us focused, united, and respectful to one another. We commit this webinar into your hands and pray for a successful and productive time together. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Joylene, for those wonderful prayers. I can see on the chat we have Ndeke from Moruri. Okay. Thank you for joining us this morning. We have Eunice Bulama. Thank you for joining. Assalamu alaikum, Musa from Wajir. Thank you for joining also. We have who else? Good morning, Eunice from Nairobi. She is a communications professional. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay, who else in the chat? I can see Michelle. We have Michelle Makori from Nyamira. Thank you for joining us this morning. Without much further ado, here are some of the housekeeping rules that will be guiding us to today. Kindly keep your microphones muted. This one will help us hear the speakers clearly when they are presenting. Also use the Q&A section for questions. So we have a separate Q&A section whereby you will put your questions either for the speakers or something that you need to be clarified about. There's a section for that. That's the Q&A, and for the chat box, there we'll just be engaging through the session. Also participate actively. Joining the polls, we'll have several polls and even the icebreakers. Also respect everyone. Everyone has their own opinion, so your opinion may be different from the other person's opinion. So respect everyone on their opinion. Stay until the end. So I'm informing you that this session will only take 90 minutes. That's 1 hour and 30 minutes. And after that, we'll be done. So yeah, kindly stay towards the end. And also one final reminder is use your full name as your username so that we may actually know who is this asking this question. So that we cannot find a situation whereby we have user 982. So we don't know who user 982 is. So kindly use your full names for proper identification. So for today session, here is the program lineup. So we have the welcome and opening remarks, which I'll take over. From 11:15, we have now our first speaker, who is Charles Moruri. We'll get to hear from him in a few minutes. He will handle the introduction to artificial intelligence, just to know what this AI is. If probably you are a beginner or curious about the artificial intelligence. So from 11:40, we'll have now our practical session. So this session will be handled by Hammton Ndeke, who is our second speaker for today's session. From 12:10 p.m., we'll have now the Q&A session. So if you have any question here during this time, is when now our speakers will handle those questions that you've been, I know you have a lot of questions. Just keep them in the Q&A and they will be tackled. Then from 12:25, now we'll have the vote of thanks from our committee members. And also, kindly remember to fill in the survey form. We'll share the survey form on the chat. Feel free to fill the survey form just to get to know how the session will have taken you. And yes, let's get to know you. Let's get to know you. Which AI tool do you use the most often? Is it ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Cloud, DeepSeek, or is this the same the first time you're using artificial intelligence? Or if you're using any other tool other than this one, kindly have your answer in the Zoom chat and I'll go through them just about now. Okay, we have Christine. Christine is saying Gemini and DeepSeek. So you have to tell us why. Why Gemini, not ChatGPT? So we have Rebecca, Claude. Oh, wow. Okay, Paul has said Claude. Oh, wow. Okay. Uh-huh. Which AI tool do you use most often? Okay, me, I can say I use definitely Cloud also. Okay, we have David. David Kubo says Gemini. So tell us why Gemini. Why Gemini? Okay, we have who else? Who else? Melvin. Melvin is saying Grok. Oh wow. Okay. There is ChatGPT and Cloud. Cloud and ChatGPT. We have Gemini and Cloud. Oh wow. So Rikiti. Okay. Rikiti is saying Cloud the unique way while creating projects. Wonderful. Yes. Cloud because it's good for giving coding prompts. Okay. Oh, so Cloud gives you prompts, and we are using these prompts that have been generated by Cloud. Okay. So we have Lydia. Lydia saying I combine Cloud and ChatGPT, and sometimes Google AI, the new one. Oh wow. I think. Oh, I hope you have the pro one. Okay, we have Tech says Gemini. Laura says I use Gemini. Okay, okay, wow. So I can see like all of us we have different, tools that we're using. Some say Claude, they have their own reason. Developers definitely will say Claude. Gemini, of course, someone in the chat has said because of now image generation, it's perfect for image generation. We have ChatGPT for notes, notes for generating notes. We have others would say Copilot, maybe for projects. We have different opinions when it comes to this. But today now we'll get to know how to use these tools effectively, how to prompt them, and how do they really actually work. When you just type in your prompt to that tool, like what happens next? Okay. Yeah, so I will be by the end of this session, we'll get to know all about that. Okay, and for those who are joining us for the first time, if you're joining us for the first time, as I introduced earlier, this event has been organized by MobiGirlz community. If you're a new person here, you've never heard of MobiGirlz, I'd like to introduce my colleague. She will introduce herself and also introduce this community to those who are new to this community. So Claire, welcome.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Sadly, I was not being heard from my end. So as a way of introduction, my name is Claire Karani. I lead the MobiGirlz program. So thank you so much, Richard, for starting us off on a very high note. So I just want to do a very, very brief introduction, just 2 to 3 minutes, so that you can get to understand who MobiGirlz is and who is MobiGirlz organizing this webinar. So most of you, if not many of you, might know MobiGirlz, the institution. We are a tech training institution. So one of the programs that we do run as a very core program is the MobiGirlz program. And it was launched back in 2016 to help advance more young women to uptake STEM courses. So during this period from 2016 till date, we've been able to train 220 young women, and we have been an inaugural winner of the Miss Africa Seed Fund back in 2016. And recently in 2023, we won the World Summit of Information Society Forum, an award under the Enabling Environment. So some of the other key, So some of the very key programs that we've undertaken as MobiGirlz is one, participating during Africa Code Week, where we were able to train young kids from the age of 9 to 17 on how to code using Scratch. We've also done a scholarship program, one that I mentioned, the Miss Africa Seed Fund, which was a 12-week mobile developer accelerator program. We've also participated during the Technovation Challenge with Safaricom. We've also hosted workshops. So beyond this webinar we are hosting now, we have been hosting workshops around UI UX, around mental health. We've had workshops where we invite technical recruiters to speak to our students so as to guide them even as they are preparing for work. We've had boot camps around the MIT App Inventor. We've had graphic design boot camps. We've also had STEM camps in Kenya and Nigeria. And being a community whereby we want to help more young women to uptake STEM courses, we've also partnered with like-minded organizations such as Tech Sisters Kenya and Ubitia, where we have participated in their events and also had some of our community members do so as well. We've partnered with an organization called Skilled Up Life, whereby they are offering volunteer opportunities so that our community could also have hands-on experience. And we've also had partners such as Microsoft, Google, and MasterCard Foundation. So as MobiGirlz, we've supported our community by having some of our alumni having their own startups, joining these tech companies, referring our students also to some job opportunities that come along. And as immobilists, we've also had some of our MobiGirlz alumni as lecturers, as intern, as part of the admin, and as part of the staff here at MobiGirlz. So what is next for us? One is to offer more of these practical workshops, both physical and online, offering a more refined mentorship model, also doing a lot of company visits, tech company visits, and also having a bit of new partnerships. So as you join in this webinar today, please feel free to ask as many questions as possible to our speakers, to hear them as the admin. We have the Q&A chat so that we don't miss out on any of your questions. Yeah, we're looking forward to a very exciting webinar from our very exciting speakers, Charles and Hampton. And now I'd like to hand it back to our moderator of the day, Richard, so that he can now take us through the next steps. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Claire, for that introduction. What a wonderful introduction. So without much further ado, like I see our speaker has joined us. So the first session, as I told you earlier, is the introduction to artificial intelligence. And That session will be handled by Charles Moruri. Charles Moruri is a machine learning and AI engineer passionate about building intelligent solutions and empowering developers to harness the potential of AI. He's also actively involved in Kenya's AI and developer ecosystem, whereby he contributes to community-led initiatives, mentors aspiring technologies, and speaks at technology events focused on AI, cloud computing, and software development. So I know most of you, maybe some of you have met Charles Moruri before because he has been participating in different events, GDG events, AWS and the like. So Charles Moruri will take us. Sorry. So Charles Moruri will take us about concerning now the introduction to Gen AI. So at the end of the session, handled by Charles, you'll be able to learn about how generative AI works, how you can really understand the AI limitations. Also, you'll be able to explore real-world AI application and to practice responsible AI use. So, Charles, whenever you are, you can start your presentation. Welcome.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello.
yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the opportunity to have this session. And thank you to the attendees for joining us today. So, my name, as you've heard, is Charles, and from the description, I'm a machine learning engineer. And for that whole context that was written in 2 paragraphs, I can summarize it to one as most of the time I do community advocacy. So you would find me from one community to another, trying to interact with developers and seeing what they build, as I also try to build to achieve something in the near coming future. So
Hey Charles, sorry to cut you short. Can you kindly turn on your camera so that our audience can?
Sure. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Okay, sure. So can I have access to the screen?
Okay, in a short while. Just a few seconds. Okay, sure. You can start sharing your screen.
Well, I mean, let me just mm, um, Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so for today's session, we are going to try to see introduction to generative AI. So before we get into getting to know what generative AI is and what it does, I want to take you through some few notes that I did some research so that we can have an understanding of what we're gonna have a look at. So in the recent times, you've had people mentioning AI, ML, deep learning, generative AI, large language models, chatbots, and maybe you've heard of deepfakes. So if I might start with the first term, that is, we have artificial intelligence, of which, of course, you are known that you as a person, you have human intelligence. Now, what is artificial intelligence? This is trying to have machines predict or mimic what humans do in real case scenario. Like you can have a robot trying to sell things to customers in a shop, in a hotel. You see, like we have waiters, so we have a robot trying to do what a waiter does. So we are trying to have AI work in those areas. So we have this term that is machine learning. So from the term alone, that is machine learning, machines trying to learn. So machines are trying to do things without being explicitly being programmed. So that is the simple definition of what machine learning is. So we also have deep learning. So in deep learning, you might have come across a word that is neural networks. So this is what makes these try to be deep learning, because in neural networks, we have like deep layers trying to mimic how human brains work. So in these three categories, you might find an AI engineer, a machine learning engineer, but for deep learning, I do find most of the people are based in the research areas. So they try to do research papers, because you can imagine the content of having a research paper. So you are trying to do something that is deep, you see. And now, in the recent times, we've had now these generative AI thing, large language models, chatbots, and deepfakes. So, what is this generative artificial intelligence? So, from its general word, we have generative. So, something is being generated. You see, so from these, we have these kind of terms where we have in the recent times, that is, we have foundational models. So in these foundational models, we have different types of uh, models. So we have large language models, we have audio models, we have video models. But uh, to have these things being generated, now we're gonna use large language models. So in these large language models, they have been fed with a lot of knowledge. So they have, let's say, journals, they have articles, they have like text, PDFs. So like they have a lot of knowledge. So whenever you try to have your prompt or something that you have an idea and you want a pattern being predicted. So let's say you are a storyteller. So when you write a case study of what you want to storytell, you just prompt it inside, let's say, ChatGPT or Gemini. So from your simple prompt, if you wanted a story of 56 pages, this LLM's gonna do like the whole work, predict the whole story from, let's say, a single paragraph that you introduced. So that is what large language models try to do. They try to predict the next line, they try to predict the next paragraph. And if you have audio or video models, they try to do what we call deep fakes. So what do I mean by deep fakes? So when you have your own voice, let's say the way I'm talking, so you can prompt your own voice into a chat box, and then let's say I was singing, so a single line. So this chat box that I wrote or I prompted my voice and told it to give me a song that relates to whatever line I sang. It will predict, let's say, a hymn or something. So this is what is faking myself. So you have another version of voice rather than having mine. See? So from whatever I've given an overview of the simple terms that I've given, so we have like how AI has just evolved. So AI just came before even I was born in the late, you can imagine past the late 1980s, past there. So there was AI, but most of the guys never knew about it. So if I talk of the recent times that I've been alive, so in the late 2010s or 2010s near about, so we had machine learning engineers, deep learning guys. So that is when we had these machine learning things there. So now in the 2020 or 2021, when we were now finalizing campus and others joining campus, so we had these what do we call it? Evolution of generative AI or foundational models. So where we started prompting our charts into chatbot things. You see, like we want to talk with something that outputs some content. So that is the simple explanation of the whole case scenario that we're gonna talk for today. So if I get back to my slides, this is the session roadmap. So we are gonna see or define in full what artificial intelligence actually is and clarify the development stages of AI. And in the second part, we gonna look how does large language models work, or how do they go from reading to generating essays, as we say, generating codes or generating images. So we'll also talk about real world applications, typical errors that we might point having hallucinations, and how to use these engines safely. So from the way you are introducing yourselves, I saw from the chart that we have freelancers, we have AI engineers, we have people from HR profession. So I guess you're all from different backgrounds. So for this session, you might also not need any coding background or any mathematical background to understand. You will just follow along as we do this session. So if we get started, so with a clear definition or a fundamental definition of what artificial intelligence is, as I said earlier, it's the ability of computers to perform tasks that historically required human cognitive processing. So we said you have human intelligence. Now we are trying to have artificial intelligence, trying to mimic what humans can do. So if you think of a traditional computer software, if you had task A, you click it, then the computer will execute to task B. There was no room for flexibility. So human intelligence is, however, dynamic. We try to adapt. We learn from the past errors. We reason through the unfamiliar patterns, and we understand the language that we talk to each other or the language that we speak. So for AI systems, they try to mimic these exact features that we've said humans have. Instead of being programmed with rigid and fixed rules for every single action or situation, they are designed to have what we call adaptability, reasoning, and understanding the linguistics. So if we move to the next point, we have types of AI. So we have narrow AI, we have general AI, and super AI. So what do I mean by narrow AI? For narrow AI, these are systems engineered to excel at exactly one task. They cannot generalize or perform tasks outside their programming. So if I might give an example, is an AI designed to detect fraud, or let's say an AI designed to play chess can't write an email. If it was designed to detect fraud, it can't play chess. So that is what we mean by narrow AI. So if you try to see agents that are being created by guys at the moment, so we have an agent that, let's say, scrapes data. It won't do anything apart from scraping data, because that is what it's programmed to do. So that is the current state that we are in at the moment. So if I move to the next category, is general AI. So this is the theoretical concepts. And artificial general AI, it tries to possess flexible intelligence that matches human capabilities, of which we are not yet there. So at the moment, we don't have the general AI, same to super AI. So I guess you all see, like when you watch news, you see like they are saying AI is about to take over the world, or it's becoming sentient. You see, like these are articles that are being written to show that AGI is coming. Like artificial general AI is coming, and AI that can perform an agent that can perform different tasks. You see. So in the next point, as I said, we have AI rising from 1980s till now, where we have now generative AI. I already like outlined the process. And then now the next point is, how does this generative AI work now? So as I said, generative AI from the first definition is things being generated. So I have outlined 4 steps. So we have step 1, that is training data. Before an AI can speak, write, or draw, it must read from lines given to it. So when we as developers, or you as a developer, try to write lines of code, you try to feed the computer massive libraries of written data that might be public websites, textbooks, scientific journals, or open source code repos. So this is the first step. You must give a source of data. So the next point is you build the large language model. So during the training that we have done at step 1, the computer built a massive network of connections. They might be mathematical connections. So this LLM will try to learn how words, context, or the grammar and topics relate to each other. So that is the second step of building a large language model. So in the next point, we have the user prompt. So this is where you, the user now, writes a specific command or question to instruct how the LLM gonna work, or what the LLM wanna retrieve for you. So let's say you wanted an LLM to share a recipe. So this LLM will just get into itself, gather the knowledge that it has under this specific area of cooking, so to get you a recipe. So in the next step, that is now the generated output. The model runs your prompt through its, let's say, mathematical weights, evaluates what response makes the most sense based on its training, and prints the result to your screen. So you see, like, you've moved from an empty screen, or you see, like, the way nowadays you open Gemini, it just greets you. It's a big blank page that has let's say it has my name, hi Moruri. It always says the mic is yours, or some kind of text, because it's introducing me to having a chat with it. So after prompting it, let's say I wanted what do we call it? A roadmap of how to become a machine learning engineer. So I'll just prompt it. So it will give me a generated, like, from introduction to complex stuff of machine learning, of which I didn't know any. So the next thing is, as I said earlier, we have, or I have been mentioning, large language models. So if you haven't gotten the real explanation of what a large language model is, I have this simple analogy that is written in this slide. So imagine an LLM is like a highly dedicated student who has sat in a library and read millions of books. This student doesn't have emotions, self-awareness, or human consciousness. However, because they have read so much, they are exceptionally good at predicting what word should naturally come next in any given sentence. So from this, you see, like, you've gone to the library, read a lot of books, so you have like the content in your head. So if you want to predict something that is coming next, now that is where we have predictive probabilities. So if you get into doing, let's say, statistics, or you are in a statistics field, so you will basically meet such probability statement. So from given what do you call it? Given a sequence of previous words, then let's say the cat sat on the, then you have a dash. So you want to predict the last word. So it can be sat on the mat, sat on the table. So it would be sat on the air. So having the word mat or table has a higher probability of being the next word than having the space being the next word. So with whatever context that I've given, so you can get that AI isn't trying to copy and paste answers from a hidden search database. It's generating responses word by word from whatever context that you gave it. So the next slide is, we have training data versus prompting. So training data acts as the base knowledge of the AI. It is compiled by the software engineers before the model is released. So then we have prompting now. Prompting is the active steering. Now, this is where you, as the user of, let's say, this ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, you come in. So you are the one who controls the show. You're the one who gives instructions and how these background thing that we call LLM or ChatGPT background stuff works. So the next slide we have the safety practices and how we can mitigate the errors that we get. So when building these applications, you need to be aware of hallucinations. A hallucination occurs when an AI outputs an incorrect fact. So you see, like, AI tries to mimic what humans do. So it's not being correctly accurate. So as we've said, it works on probability. So at times, because it's probability things, and you know, when you have probability, you might get the answer right, or you might get the answer wrong. But for the AI generation, so it will generate something called it's confident, or the output that has been generated is what was predicted as the next, let's say, word, the next answer or something. So you need to be aware of hallucinations when building this application. So try to fine tune your models. Like you see nowadays, at the start of this ChatGPT, you couldn't talk like Swahili with ChatGPT and get an answer. So due to fine tuning and due to guys understanding that there is hallucinations, now they are trying to fine tune the models to have things or whatever. Whenever you prompt something, you get a specific thing that you requested for from these applications. So you need to trust also, but verify. Never copy paste like the outputs blindly. Just verify because you said it works under probability. Then protect your privacy. So for developers, when AI generates like lines of code, it can generate up to your API key. So if these API keys are supposed to be protected, that is the privacy of your, let's say, when you purchase your Google Cloud credits or OpenAI credits, when you paste your API key to GitHub, it exposes your finances. So you might have the API being blocked or guys consuming your API key that you paid for. So try to protect your privacy. So with that, I guess I have given the simple theory. So I want to have like a small demo of how we prompt. So I had done this earlier. So is my screen still visible?
Yes.
Are you able to see? Okay. So I had earlier on prompted, this is Copilot on my screen. So I told it to build a simple HTML page with a login. So this is what it did with a simple prompt. So it had the HTML lines of code. It added the CSS. I guess we don't have JavaScript. No, we don't have JavaScript around here. So it's HTML and CSS. So when chatting with my Copilot here, I can tell it to add JavaScript code to enhance the responsiveness of this web page or the HTML page that I have done. So with whatever I've said, I guess I've come to my end of presentation. So you might keep the questions or be typing them under the chat section so that I can go through them. Whenever we get to the question session, I'll be answering them. So thank you, Richard.
Okay, Charles, before you wind up, so there's a question asked by Paul Butita in our Q&A section. He's asking, is vibe coding making us better developers or just faster coders? Where should we draw the line between AI assistant and genuine engineering expertise?
So you see, like from my simple understanding, so you see, we are in third world country, and the first world country are the guys who are building these LLMs. So from our perspective of how we've been growing, we tend to see them as futuristic. So they see the future. So why can't you vibe code? Because you've been provided with systems that try to do work faster for you. So you see, like the way people say this website is being vibe coded, and they come in with an analogy that because the website is vibe coded, security might not be safe. People might visit the website and make it fall or have some complications. Because whenever this, you see, like when each and every day we learn new things. So the developers who are from the first world countries who tend to see things far are trying to work on these security things, how these vibe coding platforms can build well secure platforms. So I think you should learn to vibe code so that you can fasten your work, because that is where we have these tools. Because you've seen with a single text, I have this done. Does it look bad? It looks good. So if that guy who was saying she was a lady. She's an HR lady. So she can decide to be building her own website. I guess she doesn't have much knowledge on functions, writing HTML codes, JavaScript codes. So if this vibe coding tool wouldn't do it for her, she would pay someone. Now, because she has knowledge on how to do these things, she can vibe code the system. So try to use these tools for your better.
Thank you for that.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Charles, for that insightful session. I hope everyone has gained a better understanding of how really these AI tools work, from now training data to now, prompting it and the opportunities it presents. Yes, he has said that you can actually vibe code, but my worry is like for Charles also, or for everyone in this session, just to think about it. So if now we have these vibe coders, okay, like do you feel in the next 6 to 7 years that like we will lack senior developers? So by senior developers, what do I mean? I mean people who really understand the code. Because now assume someone has just get into uh, uh, coding, but now vibe coding, you get. So in the next 6 years, these senior developers who really understand that code, like there will be a shortage of, according to me, it's my opinion. So just think about it. And also, before we introduce our next speaker, who is Hampton, he's ready for the practical session. Feel free to, post it on your social media, what you've learned today. Also chat on the chat box what you think you've learned today. And also a quick reminder that the feedback survey link will be shared in the chat. Please don't fill it um, um, yet. You can wait until the second speaker to fill it to actually present. Then you fill in that survey form. But towards the end, make sure you actually fill that form. And yeah, so if you have any question, kindly type it in the Q&A section. So if you don't know where the Q&A is, you can just below your screen, there's an option written more. You can click it there and you can find that session, written Q&A. Okay. So yeah, so our second speaker is Hammton Ndeke. So Hammton Ndeke is an AI engineer and automation specialist with expertise in generative AI agents, workflow automation, and intelligent business solution. He also specializes in designing and deploying AI-powered systems that automate complex workflows, enhance productivity, and solve real-world business challenges. So into this session for today, Hampton will just a little bit. Okay.
Hi, Richard.
Okay, Hampton, just a little bit. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry for that internet lag. So for today's session, so Hampton already is in the call. He will actually uh, enable us to learn how to differentiate now between good and poor prompts. I'm very sure in this, like, some of our audience here, you may not know how to write, good prompts, or maybe we just know that famous prompt. Like before you prompt the AI tool, you use act as a senior, act as a senior this and that, act as a senior this and that, or maybe act as a person with 7 years of experience. So today, Hampton will also share us some of the tips on how to write now prompts, depending on if you're developing HR or even in terms of your business growth. And also, he will enable us to know the prompt engineering frameworks and how to use AI to boost our productivity and to build now real world solutions. So Hampton, if you're ready, you can share your screen and welcome.
Hi, Richard, and hi, the leadership of the MobiGirlz. So I want to first take this opportunity to thank you all for this opportunity to be able to share the few tips that I have. So I really appreciate, and by the end of this session, I believe you'll be anyone with this session will be able to come out with one or two actionable tips that you can go and implement. So as I've been introduced by Richard, I am an AI engineer. My work on day-to-day basis run in development of design and system for small businesses in terms of their workflow. And this goes beyond just the development of an app to be able to integrate and have a native AI system on their platform. Basically specializing in CRM part of it. So that is what I do on my daily basis. So today I'll just be able to share what you had already put in front. So
okay, Hampton,
yeah?
before maybe you continue your presentation, you can actually turn on your camera so that our audience can have a look.
Okay.
Yes, and yeah, you can also share your screen.
Okay, sure. Let me just do that. I hope my webcam had a problem, so let me see if you can be able to see. If you can see me, you'll tell me.
Okay, on my end, I cannot see. I see a blank page. So
Okay, sure. Let me just I think the configuration of my webcam. A minute.
okay.
Maybe I'll leave and come back.
Okay. No problem. Okay, guys. So let us wait for Hampton to fix the minor issues that he is facing. Just a little. Okay, maybe before Hampton fixes the issue that he has, so maybe Charles, you can actually answer the question that has been brought up by our audience in the Q&A session. Charles, if you can hear me kindly.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so you can.
Which question can?
Okay, I can see one here. Most AI apps recommend premium subscription like Lovable AI to get premium features. So is it worth the investment than using it unpaid? So this is a question from anonymous participant.
Okay, it's worth it cause time is money, right? So if you save on time, your work will be easier and things will move faster. You see, like you could have like bought the credits, prompted the um, AI applications, let's say like Lovable, something you could have coded like for a whole week to come up with the whole, let's say, web
Hello,
page.
can you be able to?
Okay, Hampton, just a little bit. Charles is handling a question here.
Yeah, so something that you could have coded the whole week, let's say a whole web page from front end to back end, Lovable could have done that, or Casa could have done that, or OpenAI Codex could have done that. So if you have that money, purchase those credits or just pay for the premium subscription. And also, this is where now community stuff comes in. So let's say you are a CASA diehard, you can join like CASA community. If you are like a JetBrains diehard, so for JetBrains, you see like it has Android Studio and everything that like from Python, C, so it has those capabilities. So join the JetBrains community. They always give some credits that help their developers or their community members develop. So try to look for communities that have these AI applications. So, for example, I lead CASA community. So you can join our community. We do provide credits for guys to code or help them in their development stages. Yeah, that's what I could say.
Okay, thank you for that. So, yeah, Hampton, you can continue.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So, allow me to share. Yes, first. Hope you can be able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So I'll start. So I'll start with a story. There's a guy who had won 9 Grammy awards, and he's called Rick Rubin. He has produced for Jay-Z, Adele, and Joy Cash. But this guy, he doesn't play instrument. He doesn't, or he read music. So what sets it is that he has the confidence to know the test of how good music will look like. So this is the same skill that you need right now when you're using AI. You just need to master how good are you with tests. Example, if you're a developer, how good are you with tests that it provides in terms of code? If you're a designer, how good are you to determine the test that is the AI will generate based on the design that it gives you? A copywriter, a marketer, a salesperson, an HR. So the test it will be a differentiator to those that will highly utilize AI and those that will not be highly utilized. So that would be the differentiator, because the models are becoming good and good. ChatGPT is catching up with Claude. Open source are catching up with the frontier models. So what becomes the differentiation of how to know the test. So a poor prompt can be like, write me a cover letter. That's a poor prompt. Like you just tell an AI a vague instruction. So, but a good prompt is one that you tell it like you have a junior person who has joined your company, and you want to give him a brief details of what is expected at the end when he delivers something that you have tasked him to do. So the same way, this applies to when you're working with AI. So I've just showcased there are two prompts that you have. You have the poor and the better prompt, but this is not the best prompt. So like currently, most of us we are stand at the better prompt, where you're telling you are a higher manager, write 200 those like actors, but as you are that in that field or in that space, you are just among like the 80% of people who are using AI. How do I now become the top 1% or 5%? So most of us are still at the better prompt, where you just able to give it an instructions, a bit of more context, and there it is. But how do I now move? You now need to move to the next level, which, as you have known, there's this anatomy of a greater prompt, which says role, task, context, and a format. Like an example, you are a data analyst. What is your task? Is to summarize this CSV flag theories. Context is a Q2 East Africa broad audience. A format is a 5-bullet chart idea. So if you use this kind of a great anatomy RTSF, you'll be able now to get a better output. Just and compare, you take a CSV and upload to ChatGPT and tell it analyze this data. The ChatGPT, it has been designed in a way that it will use a lazy way of getting you an answer, and I'm gonna show you a research that was done. So right now, you might be familiar with the RTF prompt, like your role, task, context, and the format. And talking about the format is one that I think that has really come up recently. So we're gonna do just a demo. We're gonna tell it to write a cover letter for software developer, and then you're gonna tell it using the RCF as a senior developer task to do. So we're gonna just do this just demo. You see. So we go to ChatGPT. So this is the RTF. So we are giving it as an RTF. That we just, you can use any model, any Claude or ChatGPT. So for this, I'm using a free version. So that everybody can understand, can see. So this is what when you use an RTF, it says, "Dear HR man, I recently graduated with this. I'm excited this," and then M-Pesa, it's now giving you a more detailed output. Now let's do with just a normal, without even giving it more output. This one, without a vague prompt. So even right now, the AI will start asking us, to make it useful, I need some key details.
Oh, so Hampton. Are you intending us to see how you write the prompt, because we only see this tab? You've only allowed this tab.
Oh, sure.
We cannot see the other tab. Yes.
Let me allow the whole screen. Can you be able to see now the whole screen?
Yes.
So this is how I've been able to paste to ChatGPT. Now the RTF, the role, task, context, and the format. So I've given the role, the task, the context, and then I give it what is expected as the format. So it gave me, it followed that format that I already shown it. So this becomes a more detailed. Even if you read it, you'll feel like it's now more not a vague one, compared to when you just tell write me a cover letter for a software developer. So it will just do that meaning, and it's now asking you, like, I need some key details, which you already covered here. So even AI is now realizing that for you to give you a better output, it needs some key detail, which you already given it out here. So that is for Now, when you go to the next, beyond the RTF. So most of us, we are stuck in the RTF, but you have to know there's a paper that came out, that was April, that say even a perfect prof gets a polite, safe answer trained on human feedback to tell you that what you want to hear. They search it because, so they give it a name. So they say 49% more often AI will entrust the user than the human did. For 7%, it will endorse even harmful choices. So this one was done across 11 models. It was a Stanford and Anthropic that came together and do the research. So asking it should I launch, and it finds 5 reasons, and ask is this a bad reason? It finds 5 reasons. If you have ever used Claude, when you tell it like these are wrong, I like these are wrong way of doing it, it will just say, okay, that's right. I think I missed something. Even if you come to this perfect truth from that we had shared. So here, if you give it like you tell, I believe this is not the best. So it just tells you, you are right. If I review the application of a senior manager, I will not rank this as it reads competently, but doesn't make me want to interview. It tells me what you build, but not how you think as an engineer. So that research has proved that even a perfect AI will still give you a polite answer. So most of us, we just think when you're given the perfect prompt, we stuck there. Even as a developer, as a designer, you need to be able to push the AI beyond the limit so that you can get the best output. So and to share. Sorry for that. So that's you have seen, like, even telling ChatGPT that whatever you said, I believe is not right, it corrected itself. So it means that you're just giving us a polite and safe answer that was trained to give us the right answer, like feel us. Then now we have this framework. I came up with this framework. It's called gaslighting, pushback, and stress GPS. So these 3 moves turn someone who uses AI to someone who produces with it. So what is gaslight? It's like raising the real stakes, so it drops the safe default. Push, you challenge every answer until it earns its place. There are stress and 90 seconds of pressure before you trust it. So most of us, we have not pushed. We only get the first answer response or the first code or the first generation, and you think that is the best that you can be able. But you need to push it beyond that. So now like, why gaslighting? Saji, that did AI do better if you threaten them? But what works is maintenance, or the real context, or the real stake at the real what are the real stakes. So if I go back to my example, so let's push back. So for raising, there's the stakes. So example, I can tell, give this the way you will to a CFO with 20 years experience and zero flash or zero passion for flash. So an AI will know what is at stake. So, but if you put something like if I act on this and I'm wrong, I lose my biggest client or reread. What with that at stake, what changes? So if you go back to this. If you go back to our prompt here and we give it a stake, the stake will be like, I have there'll be thousands of people who are applying for this job, and it only takes 8 seconds for HR manager to be able to see my CV. And there's a high possibility if it's fluff, it will just be flagged immediately. What does it take to be able to make those changes, or with this in mind? So that's why I'm putting a stake. Even as a developer, you are writing a code, you can tell AI with the code that you have written, if there are if there's a bounty hunter who comes to look into my code, or a senior, he has 2 seconds to penetrate. Based on what you have generated or this, is it stable? So that you're giving a stake. AI will look at its code, we look if it has generated a bloated code, and with that, it can be able to now rechange or re-edit some of the lines. The same with design. When you give, like, I'm presenting to my manager, to my PM product manager, and I have 8 seconds to look at this design. If he finds flap, he will just flag me up and I lose my job. At that point, you are increasing the risk or the stake. So AI will know that if this person makes this mistake, this is the cause that is causing, and he may end up not using me again, and it will increase its own part or ability to give you the right answer. So the same way, if you just that's gaslighting. So now we have another one we call so from any blog post to unfair advantage. So someone like these are vague from how do I grow my tech channel on YouTube or TikTok? So AI will just give you a general knowledge or a polite answer. Do the thumbnail, do the things. But when you push it, you say that is a generic. I could get from any blog. Give me an obvious angle. Someone will build a tech channel to 100K in Kenya, but will not know, say public, be specific. So this now you are pushing it. So the AI will go beyond just a normal polite answer and safe one, and do a deeper research and give you the what is called 1% answer that it's now you cannot get if you are just surfacing on the surface. So that is what you now advantage of that gaslighting. So we have the pushback. The pushback is challenge every answer. Don't accept. The first answer is an average thinking. The second answer, you challenge is a structured thinking and defend sharpening. But the third answer, that is the insight you can actually act on. So with an AI, because of the token and all that, maybe you want to save some token, it will just give you the first answer, the first draft, and you may be excited about it because they don't agree with you. Now, when you push it it now starts having a structured thinking. Like that is generic. I need now to push it to this and sharpens. By the time you're adding to the third ability, you are now into an insight that you can actually act on. So the same way, a perfect score is not enough. You need to have those gaslighting, then you push back. Then the third one, you have to stress it. How do you stress it? You look at my question and your answer together. What is missing and what should I have asked? Remember, AI is more intelligent or more greater if you ask it to think on its thoughts. That's why there's something called chain of thoughts. So when you tell it, look at what you have given, look at my question, and have chain of thoughts. Then you're just telling, think of your thoughts. So when it's not thinking of your thoughts, it will verify what it's supposed to have given you. The same way, you generate the first design as a designer, you tell it, look at my question, the design you have given me, what is missing, and what should I have asked you. That is the gap checking. Number 2, bias step. Re-verify. Check for the confirmation, recency, survivorship bias, and the right answer or the comfortable one. So that's the bias strip. Because remember, AI has some bias, hallucination. So you want to be able to catch that before even you take it. So it may give you an answer if you're a developer or a designer that was scrapped off maybe a year ago, but it may give you that kind of an answer. So you need to ask it for recency. What is recency? What is the survivorship? And then the right answer or the comfortable one. Then number 3, you inject the stakes. If I act on this and it's wrong, this is the consequence. Like example, for the CV, like I'm using the CV, you can use anything. If I act on this and I'm wrong, it's wrong, I will lose this job. And this means that I'll lose this interview. And this means that I'll be out of job for this and this days or years. And what will you change, soften, or warn me about? And that is, you make it that it separates you now to become the top 1%. And this is what I do on my daily workflow whenever I'm having a conversation with AI. And I've built a skills around it. So, example, I run a 2-dev studio in Nairobi, overloaded with clients. Should I hire a junior dev? So it will, the gap. What should I have told you? Confirmation. And then if I'm wrong, I pay a salary from my saving. So what you get, you don't hire full yet, or you didn't share a runway gap, a model. So you have already identified the gap, the bias, and the stake. So if I just come back, if you allow me. I need to share my screen. So I can get to the bias. This one. So I'll just take this gap and then paste to my ChatGPT, the flow that I had. So this is what she told me. This is a great prompt because it forces us to examine the gap between what you wanted and what you have. The original was this. This prompt is clear, but it's missing information and differential memorable cover letter from a generic one. You never gave me your engineering story. I know you are a graduate, you are this, you build, and I don't know what problem did you solve, what did you build, what technical was difficult, what design decision are you proud of, what did you learn from production, what impact did it have, why this FinCase instead of this. So it already tell you the question that you could have asked it to get a better response. So when you answer those questions, you now, when you apply now the verifying, it will sweep and look at what did it give you the first. Does it survive now the chances of being seen? It cuts across all. If you're a marketer, designer, developer, copywriter, freelancer looking for clients, any sphere that you are using AI, this now becomes a leverage. And number 3, you inject now the stake. So based on what it had given you, if there was an HR could have verified that, what problem did you solve? What did you build? What was actually technical difficulty? What design are you proud of? And what did you learn from production? And what impact did it have? So you remember, these are things you could not have thought. Maybe you could not have read that bigger prompt. But by starting with a smaller one and asking this, is developing now more context, bringing you more and more to the insights or a greater insight that AI will have given you. Now, moving to now another thing, don't ask one model. So if you're somebody, a developer, you can build, for me, I build a console where I have ChatGPT, Claude, and Claude, Gemini. I'm all accessing through Open Router. So when I ask a question, it goes through those models that I've exposed, even DeepSeek and all. So instead of just getting one response from one model, I have a model that is contrary, has what will fail. Number 2, first principle, are you solving the right problem? Expansionist, find upsides you are missing. The outsider, zero context, catches scarcity of knowledge. And executor, only care what do you want to do on Monday. So example, if I'm writing a code, I'm a developer, I have this kind of a skill exposed to Open Router. So when I'm doing a review of my code, Fable, Sonnet, or Cloud is the best chairman, is the chairman of the council. So I have ChatGPT, which is good at following instruction. Gemini is good at design because of its now ability to generate image of Nano Banana, but ChatGPT has been beating it. Then you have DeepSeek for small syntax and all. So I have this kind of console. When I say review my code or this, it executes across. So there's a contrary who will hunt for what will fail. That is any cybersecurity or that. Our first principle, we look at this. If the that was supposed to take one line of code and AI has written 10 lines of code, it will hunt it and bring it and make it to one line of code and still works. Spanish, it finds upside of what is missing. Maybe there's something that I have missed in writing. I was writing the code that can be able to catch it up and then hunt it out and say this was it. The outsider is somebody who comes from the outside, looks from the eyes of like a senior developer with an experience. So he looks at it and there are some things you have written and some of the designs I could not have taken this, I could have taken this path. And then they have the executor. The executor only cares what to do. And then does this work? So the Sonnet will be able to now Opus will be able to look at and say, as a chairman, I see this will only work on this. So, and this kind of traffic. So I have this one I could have shown you, but I built on you can be able to get it if you are a developer. So so we have the RTF draft, so don't stay there. So we have the gaslighting. This advice a tough expert, pushback, non-obvious angle, stress, bias, and if your optional is cancelled. Now, most of us will get the response if you are using AI to generate content, marketing, and all that, but it doesn't sound like it sounds generic or kind of a thing. So you leverage on a skill called humanizer. So humanizer is a skill. So it goes stripes all the things that were in. So example, this was a song that was written by AI. Nestle along Douglas labels as vibrant testament to Portugal enduring spirit, where history and modern intertwine at every turn, and is not just a city. It feels the feeling. That a human doesn't write like that. But so when I implement a humanizer, it stripes it and make it more simple. Like I spent 5 days in Lisbon and still have a mixed feeling. Beautiful, yes. Also hard on this than anyone warned me. The hills are all story, and they never make the brochure. So there are just there are on the left was telling me the same as the same on the right. But when I implement the humanizer, it now sounds like a human who has written it because they don't sound like generic. So the same if I apply on my CV and tell it to use the humanizer, you see that it's different. It will stripe all things that tells a this and so no matter what tool you use to create, the true instrument is you. At the end of the day, these models are becoming better and better. So the only instrument is you. And the only instrument being used that you have ability to know the test. What is it a good design look like? A good system looks like? A good copy look like? A good we have the copy, we have the website. So anything at the end is the test that remains with you. So once you already have that, you become a greater than 1%. And all this will be able to help you to move to that 1%. So that is it on my presentation. So these are the things that I do share mostly with my community every Saturday. So I'll be if you'll be able to join or to be part of it because I'm free one. So I'll share the link. So with the permission of that me. So that is it for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hampton, for that wonderful session. Okay, a minute. Thank you very much to Charles and Hampton for that wonderful insights. Thank you for also sharing your knowledge and expertise with us today. On behalf of now MobiGirlz community and MobiGirlz at large, we'd like to express our sincere appreciation. And I'm sure our participants are living with better understanding. And yeah, thank you for taking us through the introduction to artificial intelligence and how to write good prompts. Yes, my take home to follow the RTCF draft, the role that we want the AI to be, the task, give it the context and the format. Then you start gaslighting it, push back up to all the way up to humanizing it. And to this juncture, if you have any questions, because we are moving on to our next session, which is Q&A. So I'll give a chance to 2 participants to turn on their mic. If you have a burning question, yes, it has to be a burning question. So if you have a burning question to either directly to Charles or Hampton, you can raise up your hand, then allow you to ask that question. Yes. Yeah, if you have any question. So I can see several hands. So I'll start with Gemaria. So I'll start with Gemaria. So Gemaria, you can turn on your camera and mic.
I'll just do my mic for now.
Okay.
My question is, as someone studying international relations with a background in full stack development, how can I combine the prompt engineering with tech diplomacy to actually position myself uniquely in the African market or in the international markets?
Okay. To Charles and Hampton.
Pardon?
My question is, as someone who is studying international relations with a background in full stack development, that is MIT, how can I combine the prompt engineering with tech diplomacy to actually position myself like uniquely either in the African market or in the international markets?
Yeah, I really appreciate that. So positioning comes from identifying one problem. You need to identify the specific problem because you can only be positioned if you have identified there's a problem in that market. So I'll asking what is one problem you have identified that you feel your skill is gonna be available. So once you have identified the problem, you reverse. So you go back now to your skill because you don't start with skill. You start with the problem, then you leverage your skill, then you can be able to get the market. Because if there's a problem, there's a market. So you can have the skill, but the market is not there. Like there's not that kind of. So you need to know how to position your positioning comes from the problem. So if you just find there's this problem I have identified in this market, and I believe my skill, if I combine with this, can be able to be of a greater input. So that's what I can advise you. So I'll advise you start find the problem that you really see there's a gap, and then your skills come second. So and then that's where the positioning comes. That's the definition of positioning.
Okay. Thank you for that. So one last question. If you have a burning question, you can raise up your hand. Who is this? Cannot see a hand. Techno. Yes, I can see Techno. So Techno KN4.
Okay. My question is, for somebody who is doing when you're taking web design, which are the best AI apps to use and while writing codes for a website or something of sort, which are the best AI apps to use, and plus, how do you prompt an AI app so that you get what you expected while thinking of the idea of that website?
Okay, I'll invite Charles to tackle that. So Charles, the best AI apps for coding for developers.
Hello, let me say that when you want to have the best output for the input that you prompted your AI tool is, let's say, for example, you are used to talking to Cloud. So with time, Cloud will now understand your language. So you will be able to explain whatever content you have to the Cloud, let's say the chat box. And then you tell it to phrase it on the right way that can work to bring out the best experience or the best near to best application that you want. So try to talk to your AI so that it can get to know your language, then be able to explain to it whatever you want it to build for you. So if you speak with your AI, both Swahili and English, with time itafika huko like imeshika ni hivyo, unaget. And then so in the chat section when we started, some people were saying on how they use their AI tools. So someone was saying they use ChatGPT. People, others were saying they use Cloud for coding and documentation. Others use Codex for office work. So it depends with the tool that you find working for you. You get it? So if you are used to DeepSeek, because DeepSeek tends to give a lot of content, like you prompt something small, but the output is something big or something unanimous. So it depends with the right thing that you wanna use. So for your question is for web developers, what's the best AI tool? When I go to events, I do hear people say that Lovable tries to produce good front end. So you can go and try Lovable.
Okay, thank you for those insights. So I will get over to our Q&A. In our Q&A chat box, we have several questions. We have one from Paul Butita. So Paul Butita is asking, what is the one AI skill every young person should develop today to remain relevant in the next decade? Charles?
Pardon?
What's that one AI skill that every young person should develop today to remain relevant in the next decade?
Just try to be a good prompt engineer. Learn how to write good prompts and everything so that, and try to, what do we call it? Try to move from one AI tool to see the best tool that fits you. So before I give it back to Richard, so because I had most of the guys here almost getting started with tech or they are in tech, but they wanna revolve around tech. So if you've never used GitHub Copilot or something, and you still have your university ID, you can use it to redeem GitHub Student Developer Pack, where you get what we call it, capabilities of Copilot that are assigned to students. So try to use AI tools and be a good prompt engineer. You will stay on the map.
We have another question from Candy. I have a challenge using AI in marketing products and customize them with a business that I'm managing for someone. It's a business that is starting and not much product. What's the best free softwares I can use for adverts? So what are some of the free best softwares that she can use for the adverts?
Maybe just to start, I would love to ask for us to frame AI is just a tool. So most of us will start with the tool, then we go to the problem. So the best approach that I found to be working for me and my client, I start with the problem. So for his client, he identifies the one problem that he feels or needs to be solved by his client. You don't need a lot. He has only one problem. So if he's marketing, he look at what is the business aspect trying to solve. Then once you have that, even if you go to AI, you'll give it the best context and get the best results from that. So my approach has always been different. Being in tech, I've realized starting with a tool may not be that best advantage compared to start with a problem. You start with a problem, you get the real context. By the time even you're coming to generate a poster or even an app, you know this is going to solve a certain problem and there's a market for it. Because at the end, as she's saying, or poster is like, if you have a client, the end goal of a client is sales or time. So if you're not solving that, he may just get another tool and that may not advantage for you. So I believe as people who are in tech, we are now being forced to understand business problem more because the execution is being handled, seems to be being handled by AI over time. So that will be my take for anyone who wants to say that he wants to survive or to be relevant in the tech. Just be good at identifying business problem and using AI as a tool to accelerate how far you're solving.
Thank you. So let's finalize with these few questions remaining. So we have from anonymous participant. He or she is asking for you to share the prompt on how to humanize the response, the output that AI gives. So you share that prompt. Also from Gemaria, I think we answered this. We have the last one from Gertrude Ochoa. Gertrude is asking, I am writing ebooks on health and wellness. What advice can you give me on writing and marketing? So, Charles, maybe you can take this.
Okay, she's asking, she's doing what you said. Hello?
Pardon?
You said she's doing writing in?
She's writing ebooks on health and wellness. So what advice can you give that person on writing and marketing?
So I guess like AI is trying to simplify everything. As I said earlier, when you want to write, let's say those ebooks that you're trying to write, so you try to explain to the AI the idea that you have, and then after you've explained the idea, it will like output a certain context. So you will go through it, see if it's what you had in your mind, try to edit it to fit whatever you wanted to write, so that at first you are trying to solve time wasted, so you will be on time when writing these articles. So you will also use AI to schedule like posting these articles that you write. So like AI is trying to be a leverage of whatever you want to do. So try to embrace it. So whenever you do like marketing, try to use like tools that try to create adverts for marketing. So those are AI tools. So look for the one that best fits whatever you do. Also, you also need to know that AI is almost being expensive than the human labor. So it depends on what you opt for. Yeah, but leverage AI in whatever you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the reply. Yes, I can see Gertrude saying thank you. Okay, wow. Once again, thank you to all our speakers, and I hope that this session has inspired you. And this just now the foundation. This session has laid down the foundation, and next we are hoping now to move now way much higher onto now us building those tools. Okay. Right now we're talking about now how to use a certain AI tool, how to prompt it. But now onto a notch higher, I believe we can maybe have another session, be it physical or on webinar like this one. Just have that hands-on workshop on how now to design, build, and also deploy these AI agents together. So we're looking forward to that. But meanwhile, yes, if you have not joined our community, our MobiGirlz community, you can scan the QR code on your screen to join our community. Also, we have some links of our social media platforms. That's X, Instagram, Facebook. You can just scan that QR code on your screen. And also just the final reminder to fill in the survey form. The survey form is on your chat. Yes. I think there's a pop-up. There's a pop-up on your screen, so you can just fill in quickly that feedback survey. Okay. So can you guys see a pop-up on your screen? If yes, you can just react. Okay. Oh, okay. So you can see the pop-up. Okay, so you can participate on the feedback survey. Also, if you need maybe contacts to our speakers, Charles has shared their LinkedIn profile. So I'll ask Charles also to do the same on the chat box so that our audience can really follow you guys. And if they have, different questions relating to AI, they can find you easily. Okay, I can see 11 of you have participated on the poll. Okay, yeah, we have 12. Okay, waiting for others, 13. Oh, wow, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your response. 15 people, 16. Wow, okay. And also, yes, maybe if for some people, developers, if you want to do maybe build this AI, the AI tools now, the AI agents, you can take a short course. You can actually take a short course. Yes, there's a short course for that, for the same, and yeah, for you to be able to build these AI agents for business people. We have a comment from Paul. Paul is saying, let me read it out loud. Thank you to our speakers for the insightful and informative session, and to Mr. Richard and Ms. Claire from MobiGirlz. Oh, wow. Thank you, Paul, for that. So I can see Moruri has shared his LinkedIn profile. There's a link on the chat. Engage with him, ask him questions, maybe the things that you thought he would tackle on this session and he has not, find him there. So we have 24 people participated on our poll. Thank you. 25, thank you. That's 53%. We have 26 people. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thanks for a great webinar. That's from Maureen Moruri. Thank you. Thank you. So as you continue participating on the feedback survey, I have one kind request. If you're comfortable, kindly turn on your cameras so that we can have just a photo for documentation and also to mark this session. So feel free to turn on your cameras. I can see Moruri has turned on his camera first. Oh, thank you. Wow. Oh, wow. So you can turn on, or JBet, thank you. I can see you. Thank you for turning on your cameras. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Techno. Thank you, Laura. I can see you. You can just wave your hand. Thank you for joining us today. So you can, oh, thank you, Esbon Irungu. Thank you. Thank you. I can see you. You can say hi. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle Makori. Thank you. You can say hi. Hi. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for this session. The session wouldn't have been successful without you guys. And at this juncture, I would like to invite one of the committee members, actually, from MobiGirlz community, just to give us the vote of thanks to everyone and to our speakers. So welcome, Joy.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for staying with us through this to the end. Let me start by thanking Richard, our moderator today, for guiding this session so smoothly from the start to finish. I'd like to thank the MobiGirlz as our organizing body, and Claire Karani, who opened by introducing MobiGirlz and the work that we do, giving everyone the context for why we are all here. To our speakers, that's Charles Moruri and Hammton Ndeke. Thank you for breaking down generative AI and prompt engineering today in a way that was practical and easy to follow. The real world examples and the practical session made all the difference. Thank you to the MobiGirlz committee members who worked behind the scenes to organize this event, and to our volunteers, such as Joylene, who opened us with a word of prayer. And finally, thank you all for who joined, asked great questions and great throughout. If you haven't already, please take a moment to fill out the feedback form and also join the community through the link or through the QR code, however it has been removed from the screen. Yeah, but thank you overall and see you at the next one.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much, Joy, and thank you, everyone. See you on the next.
You see those payments you make regularly, maybe to your
you.